What's going on, everybody? Appreciate all of you guys for tuning in to Vikings Now by Chat Sports. My name is Patrick Seatman here, giving you guys my instant reaction to the Vikings' 31-0 win over the Washington Commanders and the most Vikings win of all time. I could have kind of assumed that this game was going to end the way it did, where the Vikings are necessarily eliminated from the playoffs, and they get a team like the Commanders who are just flat out tanking at this point, asking to get put down, and the Vikings put them down 31-0. All three phases played really good. One thing I do want to say, though, I have been still on the camp that the Vikings should let Kevin O'Connell go, and this game does not change that for me. Yes, he was fine. He was a good head coach today. I thought his play calling was really good. But again, my question marks with Kevin O'Connell don't start with taking on the 3-9 Commanders at home. It's more than that. So I can already see a bunch of people saying, "Oh, you were talking about firing KOC last week. What about this week?" This week doesn't really change much. Now, the only good takeaway I think from today's game, because overall, I do feel like this was a glorified preseason game for the Minnesota Vikings. Like, there's not a lot of takeaways to have, but I think the biggest takeaway and what was so positive was J.J. McCarthy. Now, I think the stat sheet looks a lot better than how he actually played. Like 16 of 23, 163 yards, 3 touchdowns. Like, that was awesome. Picked up 2 huge first downs with his legs. The one thing I do appreciate of McCarthy today is, like, he proved that, like, when everything is going well around him, like, he can be a competent, high-end NFL starting quarterback. And coming off, like, the Packers game, coming off even the Bears game before that, like, there were some serious question marks about that. But Kevin O'Connell was running the ball well. His receivers were getting open. There was no, or at least I think there's one offensive penalty. Besides that, the operation was really smooth. So he did take a huge step in the right direction. I think that's what it was today. It was like, JJ, this is a good game to kind of build off of. We'll see where we go from here. But there's a lot left to be desired still with number 9. And listen, I'm not going to get up on here and saying, like, oh, I told all of you guys, like, you were wrong about J.J. McCarthy. I'm not going to get up on here and say that. Like, this was just a good step in the right direction for McCarthy. And, he had a very solid game. Like, he did what the defense gave him. Now, also, I felt like both teams' game plans were extremely, extremely vanilla. That's why I kind of just felt like a glorified, preseason game for the Vikings. But McCarthy looked good. It still wasn't getting Jefferson involved too much. But all 3 tight ends caught a touchdown from McCarthy today. And the one thing I will say about him, he felt like, and you saw the big-time throws still. Like, he had that one big-time out route on the left side of the field to Jordan Addison, I believe. And the one thing I wish the Vikings did more of today was when anytime Justin Jefferson was lined out wide and the DB was about 10 yards back, just kind of go old school Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams, where he would just look at him, change the play call, quickly flick it out to him, and then let number 18 go do his thing. But overall, if I'd give J.J. McCarthy a grade for this game, I'd probably give him around a B+. Like, he didn't do anything crazy, in my opinion, to deserve an A, but he also didn't do anything bad at all. Like, a no-turnover game from J.J. is great stuff. Just did what he needed to. Really, really solid game. So really happy for him. But if you guys could, grade J.J. McCarthy's performance down below. So let's talk about the other guys here. Offense as a whole, again, very vanilla game plan today. I will say, I wish they got Jefferson more involved, especially when you kind of felt like this game was over. Like, especially when Harrison Smith had that pick off Marcus Mariota. Like, eventually then, or if I'm KOC then, like, all right, let's just try to get Jefferson his numbers. Because, hey, over the last 2 weeks, I mean, today he had 2 catches for 11 yards. Last week he had 2 for 4. So he's got 4 catches for 15 yards. Like, even though the Vikings won today, I promise you, number 18's not happy about that. But I like KOC staying committed to the ground today. I mean, Aaron Jones, very productive, 14 carries, 76 yards. Jordan Mason also doing his thing there. But, offensively and just as a whole today, it was just a very complete game. Like, tight ends getting involved. You saw the receivers getting involved. Like, you saw the run game getting involved. A lot of play action. But again, like, it's not going to change my thoughts on this Vikings team. Like, I'm still very disappointed in this season. Like, this doesn't change shit for me. Like, okay, you beat the Commanders at home 31-0. Congratulations. Like, I'll tip my cap there. You had a good football game. You woke up. You had a good day. But it's not changing how I feel about this team. This team's been an incredible disappointment this year. And honestly, the fact that they can still do this to a team, beat them 31-0, Like, it almost makes me even more pissed off about Kevin O'Connell. And I still think they should let him go. Because also a big storyline of this game, we'll show some love to him on the second half of today's show, is Brian Flores. Brian Flores is a maniac. I mean, you think about what this defense has done. I mean, how many good performances that this defense has had in a row. I mean, let me just pull it up real quick. I mean, I think they're sitting on, like, since that Chargers game, they've been damn near perfect. Like, yeah, since their Chargers game, they've been great. They were great in Detroit. They were great against the Ravens. They were great against the Bears. They were great against the Packers. They were great against the Seahawks this past week. And they were great against, again, the Commanders this week. Like, that's on Brian Flores, with also he doesn't have, like, insane personnel on that side of the field. So we'll talk about that a little more in depth here in just a second. But if you guys could hit that subscribe button today, I'm trying to hit the next milestone here on the channel. So if you guys could hit that sub button, if you guys want daily Minnesota Vikings videos, short form content, live shows, and all that, hit that subscribe button today if you guys haven't already. Lock us in as your go-to Vikings YouTube channel. Now we'll talk about Brian Flores and the defense here in a second, but today's episode is brought to you guys by Prize Picks. Now, it is the holiday season and the best time of year for sports, bowl games, basketball matchups, playoff pushes. It is all happening at once. And when you and I are out here making decisions every day, what gifts to buy, what to eat, which game to watch, there's only one place where it feels good to be right, and that is Prize Picks. And if you guys download the Prize Picks app today, plug in that promo code CONS, get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. On Prize Picks, super simple to play. All you got to do is pick more or less on at least two player stats, and if you guys get your picks right, you could cash in. So get in on the action. Prize Picks is now available in 45 states, including California, Texas, Florida, and Georgia. And Prize Picks also offers stacks. I mean, you can pick up to the same player up to 3 times in the same lineup. So download the Prize Picks app today, plug in promo code CONS, get hooked up with $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's promo code CONS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Shout out to Prize Picks for sponsoring today's show. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. Do want to give some love to the Vikings defense yet again. Overall, team performance was very good. I mean, you had Jaden Daniels, pretty poor showing for number 5 today, 9 of 20, 78 yards. Did have that interception. I thought Eric Wilson played some really good football today. He was flying around the football field. Van Ginkel obviously had that one interception where it's like, you know, he's been sitting on that for a couple of games now, but he just bats it up in there. He comes down with it. Love to see that. And, you know, what's so disappointing about this, you know, team as a whole is, like, I feel like the Vikings have been getting good play from their defense all year. They've been getting good plays or good play from their defense for majority of the season. And, you know, they just really haven't had the chance to show it at all. Like, they've had just, you know, the offense has just let them down so much where the defense is playing good football, but it's really just, like, they can't get anything going because they're on the field so much. That's also why I think a lot of people chalked up, like, oh, teams are able to run the ball on the Vikings, you know, because they lost Harrison Phillips. I think it was more of, like, one, you were without Cashman and Van Ginkel for a majority of the year, and plus they're out there, you know, so much. I mean, Harrison Smith also had that pick today. That was good for Harry to see him. Great instincts on that one, too. But again, like, it's kind of weird for a game like this. Like, not a lot of takeaways. If I'm being honest with you guys, I don't want to get up here and kind of push some fake media narrative. You beat a bad football team 31-0. This kind of felt like a preseason game. I mean, the game was 2.5 hours. It kind of felt like both coaches shook each other's hands before the game and said, yeah, we want to get out of here. Just not a lot of takeaways from this game. Kevin O'Connell, I mean, congrats. I'll tell you what, the one thing I don't want to see after the game is some post-game speech in the locker room. Absolutely not. This should just be a, hey, you guys did your job. Let's move on to the next one and let's see what happens. But I don't know. It's just one of those games. It's a very Vikings-esque win where you somehow like you beat a bad team like you were supposed to, but what's the meaning of it? I guess the only good meaning of this game is, like, J.J. McCarthy, he had something to build off of, so that's pretty good. But we're going to get on out of here. I appreciate everybody tuning in to today's post-game. If you guys made it to the end, just give me a SKOL down below in the comment section. We appreciate all of you guys for tuning in to our post-game show. And, yeah, we'll get on out of here. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. SKOL Vikes.